Have you ever wondered how one person's voice could inspire a revolution? What does it take to rise from the depths of slavery to the heights of spiritual leadership? Join us as we explore the remarkable life of Bilal ibn Rabah, from his early days as a slave in Mecca to becoming one of the most revered figures in Islam. Early life and conditions of slavery. Bilal ibn Rabah was born in Mecca around the year 580, into a world where slavery was a common part of life. His father, Rabia, was an Arab, while his mother, Hamama, was an Abyssinian slave. Growing up in such conditions meant that Bilal had very few choices. From a young age, he was also a slave. In those times, Mecca was ruled by the Quraysh tribe. They were powerful and controlled not only the politics, but also the economy of the city. The social system was set up in such a way that slaves and people born to slaves had very limited rights. This meant they could be bought, sold, and treated harshly by their masters without much protection from the law. Bilal's master, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, was a wealthy leader in Mecca who was known for his cruelty towards slaves, especially those like Bilal who embraced Islam after Prophet Muhammad began preaching his message. The Quraysh, including Bilal's master, did not like Muhammad's teachings because he spoke against the inequality and idol worship that they benefited from. This made life even harder for Bilal because his belief in a single God, as taught by Muhammad, was seen as a threat to the traditional ways of the Quraysh. Despite these harsh conditions, Bilal stood firm in his faith. He faced brutal treatment and was often punished in public to scare others who might have been interested in Muhammad's message. However, Bilal's resilience and deep faith showed others that a new way of life, one of equality and spiritual freedom, was possible. Becoming a Muslim. In the bustling city of Mecca, where powerful leaders controlled everything, a new message began to spread. This message was about one God and was brought by Prophet Muhammad. Bilal ibn Rabah, like many others, heard this message, and it touched his heart deeply. During that time, Mecca's leaders did not like Muhammad's teachings because he spoke against worshipping many gods and the unfair treatment of people based on their wealth or status. They were worried because if people followed Muhammad, they would lose their power and wealth. This made the leaders very angry, and they tried to stop Muhammad and anyone who followed him. When Bilal decided to follow Islam, he knew it was risky. His master, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, was one of the rich leaders who did not like Muhammad's ideas. Umayyah was especially harsh to his slaves, who accepted these new teachings, including Bilal. They wanted to make an example out of Bilal to frighten others from accepting Islam. Suffering and hardship. When Bilal ibn Rabah chose to follow Islam, his life became even harder. His master, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, was a very powerful man in Mecca, who did not like Muhammad's teachings. Umayyah and other leaders were afraid of losing their power, because Islam taught that everyone is equal and should be treated fairly. To scare Bilal and stop him from following Islam, Umayyah decided to punish him very harshly. He would take Bilal out into the hot desert, tie him down, and place heavy, hot stones on his chest. They did this to make him deny his new faith and stop saying there is only one God. Even though it was very painful, Bilal did not give up. He kept repeating Ahad, Ahad, which means one, Bakiga, because he believed in only one God. The leaders of Mecca thought that by hurting Bilal, they could stop the spread of Islam. But Bilal's strength and courage showed others that his faith was strong and true. His ability to endure such pain for his beliefs inspired many others to look at Islam and consider its message of hope and equality for all. Freedom by Abu Bakr. In Mecca, the leaders were becoming more and more upset with the new ideas brought by Prophet Muhammad. They did not like the idea that everyone could be equal because they wanted to keep their power and wealth. As Bilal faced more and more torture for his beliefs, his situation caught the attention of Abu Bakr, who was one of Prophet Muhammad's closest friends and a kind-hearted man. Abu Bakr was very upset when he heard about how harshly Bilal was being treated. Unlike many of the rich leaders in Mecca, Abu Bakr believed in Muhammad's message and wanted to help those who were suffering because of their faith. He decided to use his wealth for a good cause. One day, Abu Bakr went to Umayyah, Bilal's master, and offered to buy Bilal's freedom. Umayyah, seeing a chance to make money and thinking he could scare others from following Islam, agreed to sell Bilal. Abu Bakr paid a high price, but he was happy to do it if it meant Bilal could be free. Thanks to Abu Bakr, Bilal was freed from slavery. This act of kindness showed everyone in Mecca that the new followers of Islam were serious about their beliefs in fairness and helping others. Bilal's freedom became a powerful story of hope and change, inspiring many others to think about the values of kindness and equality that Islam taught. Bilal in Medina. After Bilal was freed, he moved to Medina, a city where Prophet Muhammad had created a new community that lived by the teachings of Islam. In Medina, unlike in Mecca, people were trying to build a society where everyone was treated equally, no matter if they were rich or poor or where they came from. In this new place, Bilal found a very different kind of life. Prophet Muhammad welcomed everyone and asked Bilal to take on a very special role. Because of his beautiful and strong voice, Bilal was chosen to be the first muazzin, the person who calls Muslims to prayer. This was a big honor and a very important job in the community. Calling people to prayer meant that Bilal would climb to a high spot and sing out the call, letting everyone know it was time to stop what they were doing and come together to pray. This role made Bilal a respected and loved member of the community in Medina. His journey from being a slave in Mecca to becoming a leader in Medina showed everyone that in Islam, what matters is your faith and your actions, not your past or where you were born. Refusal to give bay'ah and final years. After Prophet Muhammad passed away, there was a big question about who should lead the Muslim community. Abu Bakr, one of Muhammad's closest friends, was chosen by many people to be the new leader, which is called giving bay'ah, or a pledge of loyalty. However, Bilal chose not to give bay'ah to Abu Bakr. Bilal believed that he should only give his loyalty if it was for the pleasure of Allah, not just because someone was a friend of the Prophet or because others were doing it. This decision showed Bilal's strong faith and his belief in being true to his principles, no matter what others thought. Bilal's refusal was a big moment. It showed that even important and respected members of the community could have different opinions. After this, Bilal decided to leave Medina and move to Syria, where he spent the rest of his life. In Syria, Bilal continued to be respected for his faith and his courage. He lived a life dedicated to Islam, teaching others and staying true to what he believed was right until he passed away. His final years in Syria were peaceful, filled with the respect of those who admired his steadfastness and dedication to his beliefs. Death and legacy. Bilal ibn Rabah spent his last years in Syria, a place far from the troubles of Medina. When Bilal felt his life was nearing its end, he was at peace, excited to meet Prophet Muhammad again in the afterlife. He told his wife, who was sad about his passing, "What a happy occasion. Tomorrow I will meet my beloved Muhammad and his companions." Bilal died in Damascus, and he was buried there in a cemetery called Bab al-Sagir. His grave became a place of respect and honor, showing how much people valued his faith and courage. Bilal's legacy lives on long after his death. He is remembered as the first person to call Muslims to prayer with his beautiful voice, setting a tradition that continues in mosques all around the world today. Bilal's story is often told as an example of Islam's message of equality and justice. It teaches that no matter where you come from or what your past is, you can rise to great heights if you stay true to your faith and treat everyone with fairness and respect. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey through the life of Bilal ibn Rabah. If you found his story of faith and courage moving, don't forget to like and subscribe for more enlightening tales. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Share this video to spread the incredible legacy of Bilal, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay inspired.